So I came across this TikTok story time video today that just really caught my attention, and I had to talk about it because it was really interesting. And for a couple of reasons. I mean, obviously the story itself was something I've never really come across before, and let's just say it really got me thinking about things. And then the comments was even more surprising as there was just so much discourse, like people thinking one way, people thinking another way, when in my mind I thought things were kind of cut and dry. But I guess you'll have to judge that for yourself. I mean, just to give you a little bit of context, so this creator who goes by Gum Gremlin is talking about a falling out that she has had with her sister recently about her parents, because her sister just found out not very long ago that her father is not actually her biological dad, and that her dad is someone else that their mom cheated with. And because of that, she is now telling her older sister, you should get a paternity test, make sure that your dad is actually your biological dad. And the sister here, Gum Gremlin, the creator we're talking about, is like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I love my mom. That's all I really care about. Her biological dad, regardless of who they are, wasn't really in her life. She doesn't particularly care for them. And so she doesn't particularly care if she actually belongs to them or not. Now, this reaction, I mean, you're going to see it one of two ways, either possibly insensitive or possibly completely justified. I mean, it's really up to you. But either way, let's go take a look at it.
I just found out that my older sister has me blocked on every single platform. So I'm coming to the internet to ask, am I the asshole? Because I really don't feel like I'm the asshole, but I'm open to interpretation. I'm open to being wrong. You guys let me know. All right. A little backstory. She lives in Texas. I live in Georgia. We don't really talk all the time. So this was out of the blue. Last year, we found out, or I found out, she found out a couple of years ago, but I found out last year that she's not my full-blooded sister. She has a different dad. So, little infidelity there, but I still talk to my mom. And I guess that pisses her off because I got this text out of nowhere. I've kept my mouth shut for too long. I mean, what an opener, man. I highly suggest you get your 23andMe done. That's how we found out that she has different DNA. If you show up as my half sister, then you are Jay's, my dad. If you show up as my full sister, then you are John's, her dad. I'm 80% sure I know the answer. Whatever the outcome is, you can do with that what you will. It's your life. I just won't let myself stay quiet anymore, knowing you may be getting lied to for the rest of yours because you choose to put too much blind faith in a woman who doesn't deserve it. Do with this what you will. I release this and am moving on with my life. I hope you find out for yourself, for the sake of you and your future. Now, this is where I might be the asshole, because I said, unlike you, I don't really fucking care. She's my mom either way. And what does this change for me? I don't really.
All right, we'll pick up from there in just a second, but I do want to take a moment to address this as it is. So basically, right, she responds, I don't really care, right? That's what she said, that she doesn't particularly care, which that's her prerogative, right? If that sort of thing isn't as emotionally taxing to her, then, by all means, it's totally your right to not give a shit. Obviously everyone's reaction is going to be different. Obviously the younger sister here, this happened a couple years ago when she discovered this. This was obviously devastating to her. And that's fine too, right? However you feel about something is how you feel about something. I do find it a little odd to then, project that onto your older sister and expect her to have a same reaction or to care the same amount, or you know what I mean? Obviously, younger sister doesn't like her mother, and she doesn't like that her sister likes her mother. But she'll explain as this goes on why she likes her mom, and why she doesn't really care so much about her dad in particular. But there's a good bit more to this story, so we'll let her continue.
Talk to my dad, and I don't know this man John very well at all. So What does this change? What would it change? Because she's still my mom, no matter what. I still came out of her womb along with my sister. We're not twins, but you know what I mean? We share a mother. She can be mad at my mom all she wants. I totally understand. She was lied to for 20-something years, and that's a painful thing, okay? But that's not my story. And even if it is, even if I did sell my DNA to the government and found out that Jay is not my father and John is, what is a change for me? Genuinely, I can't figure out. So anyway, I said, blind faith be it. It literally doesn't matter to me who my father is. Jay has never been a father to me, and neither has John. I'm sorry, that might make me an asshole, but whatever. I went on to say, ask me how long it's been since Jay has spoken to me. It's true, we don't talk. I think the last time we talked was at his mother's funeral. So
Now, I know some people might have a hard time grappling with that. Like, how could you not care? You found out, after 20-something odd years that your biological father is not actually your biological father. How could you not care about that? And that's the thing, right? She said it herself. It's not her story, right? It's like, she explains pretty clearly that neither of these people were father figures to her, so like it just doesn't matter. Like she clearly doesn't have a strong connection to them. And again, to each their own. Some people would feel more emotionally betrayed, I guess, to be told this information or to be withheld this information for their entire lives, but that's just not her, right? That's not her. And I think you'll see in the comments a lot of people are like against the original poster here, saying that she's really insensitive, that she's in the wrong for reacting the way that she did. And I think a lot of the people in the comments are getting very personal themselves about this, and they're not like putting themselves in her shoes. They're kind of thinking of it from their own sort of perspective of how I guess they would feel, but they're not like trying to see eye to eye with the original poster, who has made it abundantly clear that these individuals, John and Jay or whatever, neither of them matter to her. So she couldn't care less if either of them is her biological father or not. It doesn't really matter. And I think, it's good to just respect that sort of thing. But people seem to feel a very different way about it, which we'll see in a little bit.
That's no father of mine. Literally, do not care who my father is. I love you. You will always be my sister. I'm glad that you have released this energy because I've never cared and I live freely. It's true. I don't care. Like, what does the DNA have to do with anything? There's only one person who's been there my whole life, and it's my mom. I mean, like, the woman flew here and sat in a chair over in this corner for 3 days straight just to help me finish my project for senior year. I mean, I had to beg my dad to come to my apartment in Atlanta. I mean, this is like my 5th apartment here, and this is the only one that he's seen. I don't know about you guys, but that's not very fatherly to me. So she responds to my messages and says, this part really gets me because I've been in a depressive episode for a little while. So like, whatever. Your ignorance shows and your ego is large and it no longer affects me. Have a great life. I guess that's when she blocked me. It took me a week to realize because I was like, I haven't seen online. My ego is large. Honey baby, I've been head in the books I'm going through a training right now. Like, I'm a student, my ego is large. I don't know. That just gets me. But I did respond. I said, there's only one person who has been there for me my whole life, and it has never been a man. Clock it. I don't know what your motivation is here, but I only have love and light for you.
All right, she's going to wrap up her thoughts here. There's a part 2 to this that we're going to go over too. We'll do comments in between. But again, I do need to do a little checkpoint here as well, because I think her sister's response, personally so far, feels a little unwarranted. Obviously, I think Gum Gremlin here could have been a little kinder. I think saying, like, I just don't care, I live freely. Like, she could have been a little bit more sensitive, I think. I mean, not really harping on that too much, but yeah, I could see a world where her sister interprets that as like being a little nasty when she's like, well, I don't give a shit, that's like what, like, it's on you, like, you caring so much, that's on you, not me. Like, you could be nicer, right? Obviously, like, this is something extremely troublesome to your sister, obviously. So again, but obviously she's trying to project that onto Gum Gremlin, but at the end of the day, you always get the choice to choose your words more kindly if you want to. And it's not her responsibility necessarily to protect her sister's feelings, but it's just a nice, polite thing to do, in my opinion. Now, sister going ahead and blocking her and everything felt like maybe a little bit of an excessive move, but who am I to judge?
So, am I the asshole? Because I feel like I'm being manipulated. I feel like because I didn't immediately rush to the internet to figure out who my father is, I'm the villain. I tried to acknowledge her experience. I tried to tell her it's not my story. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. She was coming at me really hot on a Sunday. I was very hungover. I mean, it was, for lack of a better word, bizarre. It was a bizarre text to receive out of the blue. But I don't know. I'm blocked on everything now. So am I the asshole because I didn't side with her, because I didn't immediately renounce my mother when I found this out? Am I the asshole because I've watched my mom be there for me over and over and over again, and that matters more to me than my fucking DNA? Does that make me an asshole? The fact that my father and I haven't talked in years, he knows nothing about me. He's chosen his wife, my stepmom, over my well-being time and time again. Does that make me an asshole? Because if it does, then sign me up. I'd rather be an asshole. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Let me know in the comments, because I'm blocked, so whatever. I want to add a couple things before I let you go. So firstly, I'm a firm believer that it is the parent's responsibility to have a relationship with the child, okay? I didn't ask to be born. It is your responsibility to make sure that I'm happy and thriving. And if you want a relationship with me, that is your responsibility as a parent. Secondly, Erica, my sister, to you directly. You'll always be my sister. This was weird. And I hope that you decide that it was unnecessary one day, but if you don't, I'll still always love you. You will still always be my sister, and I'll be waiting here with open arms if ever you decide that you want to be my friend again. Okay? That's it. Bye.
So we're going to look at some of the comments to get a good idea of the reactions people had to this. So firstly, we have, maybe it's the older sister in me. I'd be really disappointed in my mom for lying the whole time, but for my sibling to not understand my own pain and laugh at it and not care it would hurt me too. So this is the type of comment that confused me a little bit. Now, I get like the original poster smiling and like giggling, and like I think that's just her personality. Like I went and watched some of her other videos, and it's literally just how she is. So like, I don't know. I think that's a little bit unfair, but regardless, I feel like she tries to make it very clear that, like, obviously that she recognizes how she feels, acknowledges how her sister feels, but that's just not like her story. Like, because she's targeting her. The original poster is the one being targeted and is expected to feel a certain way or react a certain way, and she just like, no, that's just not for me. Right, that's not for me, and she has every right to feel that way. This comment is, no hate, but your ego is showing in this vid. LOL, there's no manipulation happening. She just has different views from you and is trying to give you her side. You need to chill out. Oh, you're taking things too much to heart, too soft. Okay. This one is, you're not wrong, but you're belittling how much this changed her life. For her, she was lied to her entire existence. It's not about who her parent is, and your mom is complicit in that even though you love her. And you have also this comment, I couldn't get through it. It's so hard to watch. That poor girl. I'm glad she went no contact with y'all. Now, like I've said already, I don't really get these responses. I guess, we interpreted these videos very differently, because to me, it just seems like she's just saying, I'm not interested in doing the whole DNA testing because I don't really care who my dad is. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And she's like, it's fine that obviously that matters to you, because this happened years ago. So they've already had interactions talking about this. She said she found out at least a year ago. The original poster did. So clearly they've already talked about it. They've already talked about her side of things. But now her sister's trying to push her problems on this onto her older sister, and her older sister just doesn't care, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but that seems like really all there is to it to me. But everyone's interpretation here seems to be telling a very different story. Now, she did have a follow-up to this, addressing a question: do you even like your sister?
This video got like 100,000 views. I feel an obligation to give you guys a little bit more context because of questions like this. I love my sister. Like I said at the end of the video, I love my sister. I'm going to share a little fun fact about her. It's not fun. It's not funny. But this is a fact about her that she shares in all of her Instagram captions, all of her TikTok captions. She has used this information on the internet to garner sympathy and followers and interaction and engagement. She's an addict, okay? A recovering addict. She's clean. We're proud of her. I love her. That's my sister. But yes, she's an addict. So anybody who's, dealt with addicts, they understand that they're a little crazy pants. So I think it's funny because my sister and I go like this: best friends, mortal enemies. Best friends, mortal enemies. So I'm like, oh, we're on the mortal enemies again. And I didn't even do anything this time. Like other times there has been some things, whatever, we won't get into it. But we were young and dumb and we lived together, which was a mistake. So me and my sister have had an on again, off again relationship, and that's fine. It's totally fine. Whenever she wants to be friends again, I'll be here with open arms, waiting for her. I don't even need her to apologize to me because I know she's crazy pants, okay? Now, the second thing I want to address, I don't have a relationship with my dad because of choices that I've made. I have started gray rocking him because when I was going to therapy, a licensed professional explained to me that my dad's a covert narcissist. So right now he's using my sister to try to get me to hate my mom. So he's literally triangulating my sister and me and my brother against my mom, which is like, he just does it to cause pain. And I have removed myself from the situation, moved 700 miles away because I don't want to be a part of it anymore. Like, it's just too much for me. And I live life happily and freely without that influence. He's always been a bad example of a man. And I don't really care to have a biological father. Okay, if I did find out that my mom lied to me, I still wouldn't care. Because you know what? My dad lied to me too. They have been lying to all of us. They have known our whole life that Erica has different DNA. Jay knew, John knew, my mom knew, nobody told my sister. So the people that are like trying to paint my dad as some saint don't understand what a covert narcissist does with his family, but it's not good things. They aren't good things. Now my mom, she's a soft soul, okay? She's a good woman, and she's not a perfect woman. Yes, she's made mistakes, but I'm not going to hold that against her. I've made mistakes. She doesn't hold that against me. We have a very honest, open relationship. My sister could have that relationship with her if she so wanted. I have never once told my sister to make amends with my mom, and I would really, really appreciate it if my sister would stop trying to get me to block my mom or be mad at my mom. And she has asked me, actually, she's demanded that I call my dad and make amends. Now, I'm of the opinion that it is a parent's responsibility to have a relationship with their child. It is not my responsibility as a child to go, hey, I'm mad at you for this reason. No, if I'm not talking to you and it's been years, I honestly was like making bets to see when he would call me, and it's been years. So he doesn't even know why I don't talk to him.
So we'll kind of cut it off there. Obviously, I want to look at these comments in this video too, because it seems like they kind of shifted tone overall. There were some positive comments about her in the previous one too, but they weren't as abundant. People really flipped the switch with this one. But anyway, I just want to say that it's pretty darn clear like what's really going on here. And I honestly find it a little bit surprising that this video got more positive comments since, she started off with like talking about how her sister's an alcoholic. I know some people didn't appreciate her sharing that information, though obviously she did mention that her sister uses it as leverage herself in her own Instagrams and TikToks and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But it's good to get like a little bit more clarity on like obviously her family dynamics, because you never really know the full story unless they give you the full story. But then again, you still only have their side of it. People always tell stories very differently than somebody else does. So you never really know. And I always think like going off the information that you have, I think it's only fair to really make judgments based off of that information. And then, trying to basically pull at things that aren't actually there to make assumptions and declarations is always unfair. So it is nice that we got at least a little bit more clarity with this video. And it seems like the commenters felt the same way. So you got comments like, the people in your comment section siding with your sister/dad don't understand emotional boundaries. Exactly. I was on your side even from the beginning. Not everyone needs to care about the same things. If you don't care who your biological dad is, then whatever. Now this comment I don't really understand, but I'll read it anyway. It's, you could grow up in the same house but be raised differently. It seems like you both have valid reasons for not being in contact with at least one of your parents. However, I think in that keeping anger and seeking validation, you both cross each other's boundaries. Now that one I really don't get, because like she's saying obviously she's not like angry, she just doesn't care, and then she's not crossing anyone's boundaries. She's only reacting to her own issue, right? And it's not, and she's saying it's a non-issue. So I really don't get that one, but this one's talking about I completely resonate with you starting in the first video. People can't comprehend just genuinely not caring about TNA. Yeah, exactly. And she actually responds to this comment that says, you're both right in your feelings, but the conversation could have gone a bit differently. I wouldn't say you're the asshole. I just think due to circumstances, everybody sucks here. And she responds, you're not wrong. I'm definitely not my best when I'm hungover. Okay. Yeah, and that's like my only criticism as well. And again, it's like, it's not her responsibility to really uphold the other person's emotions necessarily. But like, yeah, you could recognize that obviously this bothers her deeply and has bothered her. And so you could respond in a more emotionally sensitive way if you wanted to. But again, that's her choice. She doesn't have to if she doesn't want to. She responded very neutrally and to the point and bluntly, in a way that wasn't meant to, protect her sister's feelings. Which again, like I said, totally fine. Honestly, I don't really get the comments that are so critical of the original poster. Again, I don't think she really did anything wrong. I think most people are just criticizing her like bubbliness and smiling and laughing while she's talking about this. But I'm pretty sure that's just her personality. So they're essentially just criticizing her for being her. That's what it seems like to me. But I want to know what you guys think. Go ahead and put your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.